Welcome back to From Nothing to Completionist, the challenge where we start with a brand new World of Warcraft account and attempt to build the highest collection score possible, 1 point at a time. Last episode we ended at 9,439 collection score, an addition of 456, comprised of 4,980 achievement points, 143 mounts, 268 pets, 56 toys, and 257,581 gold earned. Let's jump back in and pick up where we left off. The Darkmoon Faire was still ongoing, and on my way to the grounds I realized that even though Max Collector had been banned, I still had access to his Darkmoon prize tickets. 182 juicy tickets. These will come in handy for points before the end of the event. It's the final day of the fair, so I quickly ran the dailies on max returns and then pooled all of my prize tickets together, which gave me 278 total.
Interesting.
Time to go shopping. I really wanted to get the most points possible out of these tokens. As I looked at the vendors, I realized that there was a gold bought toy I hadn't picked up yet, the flimsy yellow balloon. 9 silver later, we had our new flimsy toy. I picked up the Darkmoon Seesaw for 50 tickets, worth it for the 5 points for the toy itself. The exact same reasoning also saw me grab the Hot Buttered Popcorn for 50 prize tickets. I also picked up the Haunting Memento for 90 tickets to get it checked off the list. After doing some research, I decided to swim to a small cave in the northeast of the isle, the Cavern of Lament. By killing one of the elite mobs in the cave, they drop a quest item, the Ring of Promises, which, in turn, rewards the toy, the Ring of Broken Promises.
We are bound by a common enemy.
Here are what all the toys rewarded on use. I still had the final day's worth of Darkmoon dailies on Max Spy to complete, and on opening the prizes, one contained the Darkmoon Balloon Companion. Again, any toys or pets included in these bags are a huge bonus, as here saves me 90 tickets. At the end of it all, I had enough tickets to buy one of the pets and decided to go with the Darkmoon Zeppelin, which is incredibly strong and useful in a lot of the upcoming pet battles. It was that time of day again, so I went back into Stratholme to run my 10 runs. Tedious but necessary. This was run 11 to 21. Highlights of the runs included getting not 1, or 2, or 3, but 4 Runeblade of Baron Rivendare. Clearly the drop rates posted on Wowhead for these are not accurate, as we've gotten it 5 times in 21 runs. I'm guessing it too was a drop chance similar to the mount back in the day, but was dramatically increased along the way. Oh well, there's always tomorrow. All of our dailies work has started to pay off, as Lydia Accost's pet daily completion on Max Spy popped the 1000 daily quest achievement. Next up is 2500. As I continued on my pet loop for the day, Spy also unlocked the Magic Battler of Eastern Kingdoms. Rounding out Spy's daily chores was also feeding Frank a bunch of bear meat on the day for his 15th whisker. After the dailies, I decided to put some time into Winterspring again to try to push for the Azure Whelpling. In addition to the hunt for the little guy, it's also a great goal farm for the Essence of Water, Bear Flank, and the ever popular unique white transmog item, the Owlbeast Leggings, which drop from the Owlbeast in the zone. The Azure Whelpling has definitely proven to be the most difficult pet we've attempted to farm to date, and is the last Whelpling available to us to grind out. There is a bronze Whelpling, but that was added in the Draenor version of Blasted Lands, so I'll leave it until we unlock Draenor. No luck again from this session, but amazingly we got 3 of the Owlbeast Leggings in a 2-minute window when I hadn't seen any for the rest of the hour and over 200 kills. In my quest to eke out as much points as possible on the Darkmoon Faire before it disappeared for another month, I bit the bullet and bought all of the turn-in artifact books. There are 9 of them in total, and since I can't run current dungeon content and haven't ventured into PvP yet, there's no way for me to gather them on my own. This cost me over 15,000 gold, but I think it was well worth it. And I remembered to get the Wii buff before turning them all in for an extra 10% rep from them, which I was proud of myself for. The end result was 85 Darkmoon prize tickets, and more importantly, 30 critical achievement points as we crawl towards 10,000. Darkmoon Defender for turning in all 3 Battleground artifacts, then Darkmoon Dungeoneer and Darkmoon Despoiler for turning in all dungeon artifacts and then all 9 artifacts respectively. Then it was time for Stratholme again for our daily 10 runs, number 21 to 31 overall. It was largely uneventful for the hour, though once again we secured a Rune Blade of Baron Rivendare, 6 drops now in 31 runs. Our old nemesis Bill Buckler gave up the mechanical battler of Eastern Kingdoms on the next day. We're now only 1 day away from getting this massive time suck completed. Will feel good to get it cleared off the list. I then made a toy for Frank and played with him for his 16th Whisker in Winterspring. After finishing with Frank, I put another hour worth of farming into the zone, pushing for the pesky Azure Whelpling. This time, I focused my destruction on the Furlbog with an eye on hitting Exalted with them on max spell. They hold a couple blacksmithing patterns which are gated behind rep, and I just needed to rack up kills in the zone anyway, and it's always a good thing to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The Winterfall Firewater also sells really well, so there is some good gold to be made. No luck once more. I'm pretty determined to get this Whelpling, but it's going to become more and more of a pain to find time to put into it with NORTHREND on the horizon and dozens of new farms which will be taking our attention. I also put some time in after looking for the captured Firefly in Zangarmarsh, but the respawn rate is pretty terrible and I quickly lost interest. This farm is really best paired with another mining or herbalism run that allows the mobs to respawn. I'll be back. Our Darkmoon Jubling finally hatched. It took a full 7 days of actual time incubating in our bags. Welcome, little guy. On my weekly clear of Serpentrine Cavern, Tidewalker gave me the final 5 community coupons I needed to unlock the You Get the Best Deals Anywhere achievement for earning 500 total. I forgot I had World PvP enabled. This druid did not forget. Funny, this is my first time being ganked in the entire challenge. World PvP is not what it once was. Dwarf Archaeology is pretty annoying to farm. It shares spawns with Troll and Fossil, which seem to pop twice as often. And now that my level is higher, Nerubian sites are also popping. I went 15 new dig sites appearing without a single dwarf site, which is mildly frustrating. But I persevered and got the Innkeeper's Daughter's toy, a nether hearthstone replacement and the last dwarf rare we care about. There are a couple achievements tied to grey solves for dwarf, which I'll have to chip away at given the terrible spawn rates. We need about 700 fragments to solve them all, which is about 4 to 5 hours of playtime conservatively for those 20 points. Then it was back to Strat for my daily 10 runs, number 31 to 41 overall. Four hours down the mountain site as again. We did get another rune blade though, up to 7 now from the 41 runs if you're counting. The Winter Spring Daily saw Frank get its 17th whisker, now officially entering the home stretch. We also hit Exalted with our guild on Spy on the day and quickly made it over to the guild vendor. His guild has a lot more achievements and unlocks, which is why I was pushing for Exalted as a way to eke out a few more collection points. Thanks to my new standing, I was able to buy both the Reins of the Thundering Jade Cloud Serpent and the Black Steel Battle Boar. Unfortunately, I can't yet fly with the Cloud Serpent as I'll need Cloud Serpent riding, which is gated behind Mists of Pandaria and the Jade Forest. Our long odyssey is finally over. Eric Davidson was the final trainer needed for a change to complete the undead family battler of Eastern Kingdoms, which in turn was the last we needed for the overall meta. Between Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor, I've been running a minimum of 12 trainers a day for over a month, spanning the entire continent, which has been a real slog. The achievements themselves took 10 days each continent, so 20 days total, but for Kalimdor I had to level and build the team of 325s of each element in order to be able to accomplish them, which is why it took well over a month to do it. This family battler achievement also unlocked the sweet looking non-combat pet Burn, or Burn, however you pronounce it. This also popped the Old World Battler achievement for completing both the metas in Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor, which awarded the magical pet clicker toy, which I completely missed until later on when going through my bags. Now that I'm editing the video, I can see where it came from. I thought it was from a pet trainer bag at the time when I came across it. Oh well. Secured my 18th and 19th whiskers back to back the next day as I purposely left the daily till right before the reset to knock out both in the same session. Just one day left. As I said before, this is when I realized the magical pet clicker was in my bag. Can be useful for RP, I suppose. It basically works like the move to command for controllable pet classes. While coming out of the bank, the Silver Dragon rare scanning add-on alerted me to a Rumble foil close to me. Honestly, I know very little about these Rumble toys, but just dangling a rare alert on the screen is enough for me to hunt it down, as is just about anything else. Logging into Max Returns next, I also found another of these Rumble foil coins in Orgrimmar next. These will come in handy later, promise. Krysa on the day also thankfully awarded her albino buzzard pet from her daily bag. 3 more points for the maxes. Illhoof proved to be the final kill I needed to hit Exalted with the Violet Eye and pop the achievement. One step closer of being able to retire Karazhan outside of the 2-minute run for Ataman every week, which would be a big time savings because full clears are tedious, mainly because of the huge size of the raid and the chess event, which can sometimes just not cooperate and own you sometimes. Sticking with the reputation theme, the full clear of AQ40 on the week gave me enough turn-in items to hit Exalted with the Brood of Nosdormu and also pop the 35 reputations to Exalted achievement. With this out of the way, we now simply come to AQ40 each week to do Twin Emperors and Viscodus for the last items we need. Again, a big time savings. I had skipped the 10 runs of Strat the day before due to time being short. So on the day I decided to double up and run 20 runs in one sitting. This was runs 41 to 61, or hours 4 to 6 of the dungeon. Highlights of the run included earning the next Got My Mind on My Money achievement for looting 25,000 gold. Next up in the chain is 50,000 gold looted. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but 7 rune blades. That brings us to a total of 14 of them before we've seen the mount in 61 runs. Just wild. With all the blade luck in Strat, I figured it would be a good time to run my weekly Molten Core on max returns. It might not be scientific, but I can be incredibly superstitious, and I find if I'm getting good luck in one area, I'll try my chance at another. Of course, when I'm talking about blade luck, I'm referring to Thunder Fury and the 2 bindings which drop from Molten Core. And wouldn't you know it, Baron Geddon dropped his binding on this run. Now we are 1 binding away from being able to complete Thunder Fury, one of the most iconic swords in the game, and one of the few exceptions I'll make for an appearance that doesn't award achievement points that I will chase as part of this challenge. On our Black Temple clear, we pushed the Ashtongue Deathsworn to Exalted finally, popping the Sworn to the Deathsworn achievement. In addition, we completed the long quest chain which culminated in the necklace which offers a teleport to the Black Temple as well, the Blessed Medallion of Karabor. This will come in handy in the future if we ever want to come back to Black Temple or check to see if the world boss Doomwalker is up. Void Reaver finally dropped his tiny Fell Engine key on our weekly kill, which, when learned, gave us the Pocket Reaver mechanical pet. Also, this is one of the pets needed for the Raiding with Leashes meta achievement. Continuing with our cleanup, while clearing Hyjal, we also hit Exalted with the Scale of the Sands. This one is huge as well, since Hyjal is up to this point the longest raid to clear each week because of all the RP. Since we have all pets, the transmog achievements for T6, and now Exalted, this raid can be retired from our rotation. While clearing Karazhan and Max Spy for his lockout, Illhoof finally dropped his Satyr Charm, which teaches the Fiendish Imp, a really strong battle pet as well as one needed for the Raiding with Leashes 2 meta achievement. More on that shortly. On completing the clear, I finally got Prince to drop the T4 Helm token for Spy, and on learning it, I earned the Outlandish Style achievement for collecting a full T4 set for any class. This is another big moment, both for my sanity and for the challenge as we move closer to Wrath. We want to get as many of these earlier raids and farms finalized so they aren't on our list, as Wrath adds a lot, and I mean a lot, of new checkboxes and farms we need to tackle. I'm going to try to do my best to do this in a systematic and organized way, which will be easier to follow both for myself and anyone watching, but we'll see. Tidewalker in Serpent Shrine Cavern dropped his Shell of Tide Calling for Spy as well, which was the final pet needed from the raid also. With the T5 appearance achievement earned last episode and now all pets, this is another raid which will be retired from the challenge. My pet luck continued, and Reliquary of Souls in Black Temple dropped the Fragment of Suffering pet, which is one of the 3 I still needed from the raid. With that said, I got to thinking. The Raiding with Leashes achievement does not require you physically get the drop for it to count, and while I prefer to earn the pets myself rather than having to buy them, time is precious. And for instance, having to spend 25 minutes plus on Karazhan every week trying for Prince's pet or Black Temple for Reliquary of Souls, I made the calculation that it was better to buy the remaining pets I needed to be able to retire Karazhan, Black Temple, and eventually Sunwell from my set rotation also. So, with that in mind, I bought the 2 pets I was missing from Karazhan, Lil Bad Wolf and the Netherspace Abyssal, the 2 I needed from Black Temple in the Leviathan Hatchling and Fragment of Anger, and the final from Sunwell, the Chaos Pup. This gave me the Raiding with Leashes 2 meta achievement, which in turn awarded the pet Tito. Also, the Raiding with Leashes 3 achievement, which awarded the pet Cute. I'll still run Black Temple if I have time or want a change of pace to try for the Warglaives, but as they don't give any achievement points and are not Thunder Fury, which is the only exception I'm making for appearances, I'll drop Black Temple in my priority list. Here is my current raid workload for max returns and max spy. I've really whittled down the time required for each compared to what it was just a few weeks ago. This is huge. Wrath adds 8 different raids we're going to need to add to the list, and we want to have as clean of a slate as possible to hit the ground running. It was time to pick back up in Stratholme for my daily 10 runs. But we wouldn't need that long. And after just 2 runs, 63 in total, we welcome Baron's Deathcharger to our stables. This felt really good, after more than 6 hours of grinding to see the mount in that drop. With this under our belt, there are only 2 mounts we don't have that are available to us. Ashes of Alar from Tempest Keep and Ataman's Fiery Warhorse from Karazhan. Then, it was time for a bittersweet moment. We had put in the effort for 20 straight days, and with his 20th whisker, we finally were ready to turn in the quest for the Winter Spring Frost Saber. Bittersweet, because this means we no longer get to play with Frank each day. Like, they knew, and they give you a photo of the little guy, which I'll absolutely keep in my bank. Here's a great shot of the beautiful new mount. This unlocks 2 mounts actually, both this Frost Saber and the Venomhide Ravasaur for the Horde. 40 points for this alone, which closes the gap even more. Patch 12.1 had dropped, and part of the patch were a bunch of new pet achievements, including battle achievements for Outland. Hilariously, there was a bug in them and one of the trainers you needed to beat didn't exist in the game. Who on earth is Gorma Asan? It's since been hotfixed, but man, don't these guys test what they release? It's just too funny. As I was still in the high from Baron's Mount, I put in 30 minutes looking for the captured firefly in Zangarmarsh. No luck, but it adds 5k to our budget. Here is our updated farm times and available budget for all outstanding pets. I realized that those rumble foils we found earlier in the episode could be turned in to upgrade the rumble toys we already own. Upgrading both in Orgrimmar from the vending machine with the 3 upgrade tokens I had found overall gave us a further 15 points. Let's see if we have enough gas in the tank to hit 10k collection points and progress our challenge. We finish at 5,170 achievement points, a gain of 190 over last episode's 4,980. That brings us to 563 total out of 5,980, a gain of 24 in the episode. Patch 12.1 added 115 new achievements to the total, but we're still approaching 10% total completion. We added 4 new mounts, bringing our total to 147. For pets, we now have 284, a gain of 16, while toys were up 7 to 63. Now it all comes down to our gold score. Starting with max returns, 12,665 gold looted, plus 21,818 gold from quest rewards. As for our mailbox cleanout, we had a few decent transmog sales, the Vanguard girdle for 5k, Reaver gloves for 3k, and a super cheap pair of Albeast leggings for 3,800 gold. Also, the final of our Darkmoon Faire water sold. Looking at TSM, our total revenue from vendors and the auction house is 206,494. Now quickly, Max Spy had 10,943 gold looted and 7,770 gold from quest rewards. Looking at his mailbox, we had a huge few days of sales. A Black Skull Epic Shield from the Winterspring farm went for 4,000. A Crimson Beholder Eye from our kill of the rare Colitis the Warp Watcher went for almost 5,000. But the big ticket item was the Albeast leggings for 27,500 gold. Almost 24,000 gold more than Max Returns sold his for. Just shows you the power of selling on different realms. Looking at his TSM, he added 116,369 gold from auctions and vendor sales. Adding this all up, he added a further 135,081 gold to add to the pot, which gives us a grand total of 376,057 gold. This converts to 752 collection score, an increase of 237 since last time. 10,029 collection score, a rise of 590 since last episode's 9,439. This was quite the slog over the last few days. I almost said uncle and ventured into PvP for some easy achievement points, but I'm stubborn and really wanted to see if I could get there without. I believe Burning Crusade is likely going to be the most difficult expansion to get out of, since the number of achievements available were by far the fewest of any expansion for dungeons and raids. At any rate, I'm excited. This means we're free to expand our horizons and venture into Northrend. one point at a time, one goal at a time, one expansion at a time. Happy collecting, everyone. I'll see you in our next video.